Hi, my name is Shruti Bapalapati. I'm a Chief Operating Officer here at Hanumayamma Innovations and Technologies in Tracy, California, as well as Fremont. And I would like to show you a video regarding the release of advanced forecasting models, outlook models, climate resilience models, and animal welfare models. The goal is to show how the Sriya AgriVet Monitor serves its customers. We produce 3 outlook reports, the next day outlook predictions, and the recommendations worth acting on. The next day prediction is actionable. The daily cycle is strong and recent, so you can plan shade, water, and feeding times for your cattle. This report is only valid when the sensor is on. The same outlook read by the people who act on it. It's just a clarification. None of this is a diagnosis or an instruction. We highly advise that you talk to a veterinarian first. Okay, in the last video, we looked at the different graphs made by the Sriya AgriVet model on temperature, humidity, accelerometer, magnitude, and rumination time. But today we're going to look at the prediction models here in the new version of the Sriya AgriVet Monitor in the Outlook section. Okay, first what we can do is we press the sensor, depending on, we're going to use 77 today. And again, we can already see a forecast right here, which talks about the different temperature forecast, humidity, and accelerometer, which we covered in the last video. Okay, first we're going to look at the next day predictions. Again, this is a prediction of what might the temperature, how cattle and how the temperature might change and how this affects the cattle health as well as other areas. Okay, so first we can play with these toggles to see if you think the temperature might increase or the humidity might increase. How can this affect the cattle? Okay, so first temperature, let's say it increases. Let's say it increases. Oh, let's say it decreases. And then humidity. Ooh, okay, humidity. And let's say that decreases. Oh yes, if you want to do both. Okay, sorry about that. What you can do is if you're going to do humidity and temperature together, you press the both button. If you only want to do one of them, you press temperature or humidity. For this example, we're going to press both. And now we press the update model, the update button. As you can see, it ran the different changes, and we can generate the report on what can we do in the next day. So we have to wait a little bit, and then here it is right here. Okay, and we can see this is the next day. Again, we have 3 separate options. Right now we're looking at next day. Okay, what this horizon is worth. Okay, next day, the horizon worth acting upon. The daily cycle is strong and recent, so shade, water, and feeding times may be planned against it. Valid, like I said, valid only when the sensor is worn. Now let's scroll down, and I want to talk about who this affects the most. And so like veterinarians, farmers, caretakers, again, so they have a little prediction on what they need to do. Okay, so first, the keeper or the Goshala worker, what to do and where to look. So ordinary routine is fine. Again, we didn't change the temperature or humidity too much, so that makes sense. Okay, farm or shelter manager, what to provide staff and what to schedule staff and provide. Again, no heat-driven change to routine indicated for this period. That's good because we didn't change the toggles too much. Veterinarian, what would make a change of clinical judgment? So again, we can see it's getting more serious. Veterinarian, maybe they would want to change the health, like look for the health of the cattle. And the trustee and governance, whether the animals are looked after and whether this can be relied on. Okay, and this helps to look at, again, even the sensor was worn throughout, and reported removal makes this, again, it talks about if the sensor being worn is the only way that we can see the data. And then field engineer, whether when the instrument itself is sound, is the instrument working? Is the sensor calculating what it's supposed to calculate? Okay, let's go back to the model right here, and now let's do 3 days. Sorry, it's loading a bit. Again, let's say we're going to change both. We can reset this to baseline. It goes, and the baseline is basically what is basically the average of what the temperature and humidity usually changes. So let's say temperature increases a lot and the humidity also increases a lot. Let's move these all the way up here. And now we're looking at 3 days. So it's going to create a graph as well as a report focusing on 3 days. Now you press the update button. Again, it created a little scenario, and now you generate the report once again. Okay, again, now it says next 3 days. Again, these are all prediction reports. Let's go look at what this horizon is worth. Next 3 days, next 3 days at planning horizon. Good enough to schedule cooling, move a precision, or arrange extra observation. Not precise for an hour-by-hour decision. Now this is different than the 1 day because the 1 day it said to change shade and water. Now it says good enough to schedule cooling. So we can see that since the temperature and the humidity increased, this is what it's telling us to do. Now let's look at who this affects, right? Again, the Goshala worker or the keeper, what to do today and where to look. Mild, ordinary, routine is fine. Okay. And then it says farmer schedule manager, what to provide the next 3 days. No heat-driven change to routine indicated in this period. All right. Veterinarian, again, what if the cattle would need any clinical judgment based on odd behavior due to the temperature, we can call a veterinarian. Trustee or governance, whether the animals are looked after and whether this can be relied on. So who are taking care of the animals? Are they getting their ethical needs? Again, the trustee. Field engineer, is the sensor working? And yes, it is. It says data completeness 89%. That's good. That means like most of the data was collected because the sensor was working correctly. Now let's go next week. Again, since as we go from these different sections, the toggles get back to their baseline. And again, let's lower the temperature this time. Let's lower it. Humidity, let's increase it. Okay, now we press the update button to run diagnostics. Here it is. And again, let's generate the report. And you can see right here that the graph is changing because it's creating an updated prediction model of how it's going to be in the next week. Again, the same was said in the 3 days or the next day. Let's look at the report now. Okay, again, this is next week. Okay, what this horizon is worth. Okay, a shape, not a schedule, beyond the days of the readings. Help the trend is dampened to flat, so this shows the daily rhythm continuing rather than a prediction of next day. Again, this is talking about a week, that's why it's saying this. So now it's measured accuracy. Train through each day in turn and score against what actually happened. Reported separation of horizon because tomorrow and next week are different questions. Since it's now looking at a week instead of a day, it has to the prediction is going to be different. So here it is. The next day, quality high, and then 3 days it's moderate, and then temperature in 7 days it's high again. So it looks at the different changes in temperature and humidity. So let's go down to who this affects one last time. Okay. The keeper or the Goshala worker, what to do and where to look. Again, how to take care of the animal, make sure everything is okay, provide them shade, water. We're given that information. Farmer, shelter manager, what to order, what to make sure if they need more food, if a cow needs more food, if a cow needs more water. Veterinarian, is there any changes in the cattle again? Is there any need for medical equipment? Lastly, trustee. There's 2 more. Trustee or governments, is the cattle getting its ethical needs? And field engineer, is the sensor working properly? And again, this is a prediction model looking at the next day, 3 days, and 1 week. And this is an updated version of our Sriya AgriVet Monitor. And thank you for watching this introduction.